A man boards a train in Vienna, quiet, unremarkable, carrying a paperback and a slim black dossier. 2 rows behind him sits a woman pretending to check train schedules. Across the aisle, a middle-aged tourist photographs Austrian countryside like he's collecting memories. Normal passengers on a normal morning, except none of them are who they claim to be. 3 hours later, that same man is found dead in a locked lavatory. No wounds, no struggle, his face calm, almost peaceful. Authorities call it heart failure. Until fingerprints reveal the corpse belongs to a senior Islamic Jihad liaison, a man Europe had never even known was inside its borders. The truth doesn't emerge until weeks later. His death was the final move in an operation built around a fake embassy, a fabricated country, and a diplomatic mission that never existed. This is how Mossad infiltrated an entire terror cell using nothing more than architecture, bureaucracy, and the illusion of international friendship. The dead man's passport identified him as Hassan Anwar, businessman, consultant, investor. None of it was real. To his comrades, he was Abu Rashid, a coordinator responsible for covert networks stretching from Gaza to Berlin. To Mossad, he was Priority Red, a logistical mastermind who moved weapons through Europe using charity NGOs as cover. And to the passengers on that train, he was just another quiet traveler who minded his own business. What none of them knew was that the tourist beside him and the photographer across from him were part of an operation that had begun 2 years earlier, inside a building that shouldn't have existed at all. Most people don't know this, but hidden inside European capitals are diplomatic buildings that belong to countries that don't exist. Mossad created one of them, a small building in Bratislava, painted in neutral tones, marked with a plaque, Embassy of the Republic of Karim, a country not recognized by the UN, a microstate that never appeared on any map, a nation invented for a single purpose: to attract the curiosity of the exact people Israel needed to catch. Behind its steel doors and polished marble floors, the embassy functioned like a spider's web. Inside worked Mossad operatives, posing as diplomats, visa officers, immigration consultants, and cultural attachés. A full fake bureaucracy. Phones that rang, fax machines that sent real documents. A website built with government seals, tourism photos, and visa applications. The bait was simple. Karim offered diplomatic passports to investors from the Middle East. Terror financiers, smugglers, and operatives saw an opportunity, a chance for protected travel across the EU under a fake diplomatic shield. Israel watched them walk in voluntarily. Hassan Anwar was no field commander. He didn't make speeches. He didn't carry rifles. He didn't appear on propaganda videos. He was something far more dangerous. A facilitator. He moved money in invisible ways. He built pipelines of cash through banks in Cyprus, Vienna, and Sarajevo. He supervised weapon shipments disguised as humanitarian cargo. His job was not killing, but enabling killing. For years, no Western intelligence service had a photograph of him. Not until he walked through the doors of the fake embassy. He arrived in Bratislava on a gray morning. A driver picked him up, an operative posing as a chauffeur. Hassan entered the building, expecting luxury, bribery, and back-channel arrangements. Instead, he stepped directly into Mossad's system. Hidden cameras scanned his gait. Voice analysis software evaluated his accent. A false visa interview recorded every detail of his eyes, face, and breathing patterns. But that wasn't the goal. The goal was trust. Over the next 6 months, Hassan returned repeatedly, believing the embassy was his gateway to diplomatic immunity. He began offering intelligence. He requested favors Israel needed him to ask for. He used the embassy to communicate with other operatives. Every message, every name, every location, intercepted. With each visit, Mossad mapped his networks. They built his hierarchy. They traced his lieutenants. The embassy became the center of a widening web. At phase 3 of the operation, the embassy became aggressive. Operatives posing as embassy officials introduced Hassan to a security consultant, Mossad surveillance expert, a financial officer, Mossad cyber operative, a liaison to the Balkan Trade Ministry elite undercover asset. Hassan believed he was recruiting them into his organization. In reality, they were dismantling it from inside. He revealed safe houses, bank accounts, smuggling routes, encryption methods. He thought he was building a quasi-diplomatic channel. He was actually feeding Mossad the blueprint of his network. The fake embassy had become the most effective penetration tool in modern espionage. At some point, Hassan realized something: a slip, a delay, a feeling in his stomach that the embassy was too helpful, too smooth, too precise. He became unpredictable, changed flights, avoided meetings, switched hotels at the last minute. He told his network to prepare for sudden relocation. That was enough. Mossad authorized resolution. They called it Operation Glass Orchard. Hassan boarded the Vienna train heading toward Munich. He believed he was fleeing. Instead, he was walking to the final stage of the operation Mossad had prepared for months. 2 rows behind him sat the woman from the embassy. Across from him sat the tourist. In the luggage compartment above him was a small device, no larger than a travel charger. It contained a microdose aerosol of a designer neurotoxin engineered to degrade within hours. No smell, no color, no trace. When the train reached full speed, the vibration triggered the device. By the time Hassan stood up and staggered toward the lavatory, the outcome was inevitable. Inside, he collapsed quietly. Heart failure, no struggle, no marks. By the time the conductor forced open the door, the operatives were already gone. The embassy shut down the next day, the plaque quietly removed, the website taken offline. The country of Karim vanished from the internet, as if it had never existed. Interpol identified the dead man within hours. European agencies launched investigations. Italy demanded answers. Slovakia reported no record of any Republic of Karim. But every digital trace of the fake embassy had already been wiped. Every diplomat disappeared under new identities. Every visitor who entered the embassy became part of a classified Israeli file. Hassan Anwar's network collapsed within weeks. Cells fell apart. Shipments dried up. Funding froze. A single building, a building that wasn't real, crippled an entire terrorist infrastructure. What does this reveal about the world we live in? That power doesn't always come from armies or drones. Sometimes it comes from paperwork, architecture, and belief. A building with a flag and a plaque can become a weapon. A non-existent country can become a diplomatic trap. And a man who thinks he's gaining protection can walk into his own elimination. If this story made you see intelligence warfare differently, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe. Because the next invisible operation is already happening somewhere, waiting to be exposed.